On this planet, there seems to be plenty of animals that enjoy being drunk and high almost as much as us humans. I have already made 3 videos on this topic, but there are still plenty of stories out there. In most cases, animals get drunk by feeding on fermented fruits, and they get high by feeding on substances in their environment. In some rare cases, animals get high by using other animals, either by consuming the substances that they create, or by stealing substances from them. In this video, I will be going through just a few of these examples, as I will be going through 3 animals that get drunk and high by using other animals. And for our first story, we will be heading over to the beautiful island of Madagascar. Now, Madagascar has a very unique island ecosystem, and it's home to many animals and plants that can't be found anywhere else in the world. More than 50% of the world's chameleon population is found in Madagascar, and Madagascar is home to around 350 species of endemic reptiles. Strangely, we are still discovering new species in Madagascar, and from 1999 to 2010, 615 new species were discovered here. Unfortunately, just like many other countries around the world, Madagascar is facing some problems. Although it is the 4th largest island in the world, it is also one of the poorest countries in the world. When people are struggling, they look to nature for an income, and this has led to an increase in poaching and deforestation in recent years. This is of course bad news for the native wildlife, and some of the most famous Madagascan animals are the lemurs. There are over 100 species of lemur alive today, and these lemurs can come in many different shapes and sizes. One of the largest species of lemur is the indri, and some of the smallest lemurs are the mouse lemurs. These lemurs are perfectly adapted for the trees, where some feed on vegetation and others specialize in hunting insects. They play an important role in their ecosystem as seed dispersers, but their lives aren't always carefree. One of the predators that the lemurs have to look out for is the fossa, as this is a very powerful lemur hunter. But as well as this, lemurs also have to look out for parasites and diseases, but strangely they do have a way of fighting back. In some areas across Madagascar, lemurs are known to play with toxic millipedes. If they see them, they will often pick them up, and then they start biting them. In most cases, they don't bite these millipedes to kill them, but instead they do it to antagonize them. When these millipedes are attacked, they spray a toxic liquid, and this is just what the lemurs are after. The lemurs then rub this substance all over their fur, and this substance is thought to act as a natural pesticide. It keeps malaria-carrying mosquitoes away, and it also wards off pesky flies. As well as being a great insect repellent, the millipede secretion also acts as a narcotic. The solution is thought to be made up of hydrogen cyanide and organic acids, and this substance has a strange effect on the lemurs. It causes them to salivate and act in a strange manner, and they seem to enter a state of intoxication. These lemurs will rarely pass by a millipede without picking it up, and in some cases they have been witnessed collecting them. After the lemurs are done with the millipedes, they let them go, and they are able to leave relatively unharmed. This essentially means that their defense has worked, but the lemurs have also used it as a natural insecticide, and they've also used it to get high as well. So even though the millipedes may not enjoy it, it seems as though the lemurs use them to have a good time. Strangely, for our next story, we can head to pretty much anywhere around the world, because instead of focusing on one species, we will be looking at a group of animals. Birds can be found all over the world, and they have adapted to all ecosystems and all climates. Some are true apex predators, and others live lives similar to that of insects. Across the bird world, there are some strange and interesting species, and some of these species have very unique behaviours. Some have strange courting displays, and others have unique ways of getting around and also catching their prey. In this video, I will be focusing on one behaviour in particular, and not all birds are known to do it. I am talking about the behaviour known as anting, and some species such as blue jays, hoopoes, starlings and mockingbirds have been known to do this. Anting involves rubbing insects, which are usually ants, on their feathers and skin. In some cases they will pick up the insects in their bill and rub them over their body, whereas others may lie on insect nests and perform dust bathing movements. When the birds do this, some insects will secrete liquids, and in some cases these liquids contain chemicals, such as formic acid. Just like with the lemurs and the millipedes, this acid also acts as an insecticide, and is a great way to deter parasites and keep them pest-free. Although this is thought to be the main reason behind anting, there are also some other theories. It's thought that it could aid in feather maintenance, and it could help the birds molt. One other theory is that it is a form of sensory self-stimulation, and has been compared to human activities such as smoking. It's been suggested that birds achieve pleasure from anting, and that anting has characteristics of a habit. There are both arguments for and against this theory, but as this behaviour has already been witnessed in lemurs, it wouldn't be a stretch to suggest that this also happens with birds. Ants aren't the only creatures that are used in anting, and some birds are even known to pick up millipedes. This exactly mirrors the behaviour of the lemurs, and it could mean that birds are using bugs to get high after all. For our final story, we will be heading over to the Caribbean islands, but strangely the creature that we will be focusing on isn't native here. To get to its homeland, we need to travel across the ocean and head over to Eastern Africa. The species that we will be focusing on is a monkey, and it goes by the name of the Vervet monkey. Now this species has a relatively underwhelming appearance, but it does have some very brightly coloured genitals. Strangely, this isn't the most interesting thing about this monkey, as it's known for having some very human-like characteristics. It exhibits forms of hypertension and anxiety, and also social and dependent alcohol use. Alcohol can be quite hard to come across in their native range, but it is a lot easier to find in the Caribbean. The story of how these monkeys got to the Caribbean is quite a sad and depressing one, as it's related to a very dark point in human history. That's because in the 18th and 19th centuries, slavers would catch these monkeys and keep them as pets. The slavers would then take these monkeys to the Caribbean islands, along with slaves serving the rum industry. Some of the Vervet monkeys then escaped or were released, and this is where they started getting a taste for alcohol. The monkeys lived in an environment dominated by sugarcane plantations, and when the sugarcane was burned or fermented, these monkeys were then able to consume it, and in some cases get very drunk. Over the years, they developed both a taste and a tolerance for alcohol, and they seem to have similar alcohol habits to us humans. Teenage monkeys are much more likely to drink than older monkeys, and strangely the monkeys that drink more make better leaders. Although these monkeys only used to get their alcohol from sugarcane, today it is a very different story. Instead of looking for alcohol on their own, they will use us humans, as they often raid local bars and holiday resorts. They'll often move in when humans are done drinking, and they will go round finishing off everybody's empties. As you can imagine, drunk monkeys can cause quite a scene, and they are often known to trash the place after drinking. Even though these monkeys steal alcohol, we can't really blame them, as they were stolen from their homeland and shipped around the world. Luckily for them, it seems to have worked out, and they have a relaxing life on the beach with plenty of booze. As well as the Caribbean islands, these monkeys can also be found in Florida, and it would be interesting to find out if they exhibited the same behaviours. But really, these monkeys seem to have life figured out, and they've been using us humans to get to alcohol for years. If you know of any other animals that use and abuse alcohol and drugs, then let me know down in the comments below. But thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like these. But until next time, goodbye.